he probably would need part of his 150. Maybe part of his money. Yeah, we can take it out of that.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some express segments. Sorry.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want to say. I can't control it.
That's what I want to say.
Well, it's going to be some pressure.
I want no pressure.
I got to leave at 6 and serious. I do.
I know you want to.
Boy, I'm telling you.
Say it on live.
Angelica, I'm already stressed.
Blame my husband. Blame my husband, Mitchell Woods.
Angelica Woods.
Mitchell Woods. I'll be on here.
Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. Today we're talking. Tennessee is the first state to end its DEI in all public spaces. Man, Shannon Sharp is in snow bunny trouble again.
He was warned.
Shador Sanders didn't get drafted. And we are talking situationships. Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Boy, when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's go, baby. I think we got it, y'all. We got it.
Four times a charm.
Okay, man. Y'all give it up for my lovely co-host Angelica Jelly Woods in the building. Showing them
Jelly.
I'm about to get Josh over here. I'm about to get him. You better get him.
Jelly.
Hey y'all. Happy Friday.
Shit. Okay, all right. Y'all give it up for my DJ. That's my DJ Kojak in the building. We're trying again. Kojak. Third time charm. Yeah. And we got the doctor in the building. T Wade in the building. Y'all man, hey Doc, wait a minute, y'all. This shit didn't start until.
She thinks she threw it off.
Right.
I do have that effect on some people.
You throw off frequencies.
Yeah. I got it.
I got you.
And we gonna finish it.
Okay.
Hey. Hold on now. Y'all don't get nothing. That's why I don't drink. See, right there. That's why I don't drink.
Look like mine.
That's mine. I drink water.
Right.
Okay.
We got more here. We got to kill this painkiller because y'all. I went through lengths and
without
hard effort to make something out of nothing. We were iceless. We've been iceless. We've been having tech problems.
Chicken dry and tough.
Man.
But guess what? Parkinson and Kojak.
Did you give up meat for Lent too?
Uh-oh. There you ain't got to be present to win. That's all I say. Hey, man. You ain't got to be present to win. Hey, look, y'all. Hey, the state of Tennessee was rushing to be the first state in the country to get rid of all of its DEI and all of its public sector, all of its public spaces. So that's every form of government from the state level to the local level. They want no DEI programs, no DEI departments. I think we got a little video, Josh.
Representative Ferguson, 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was hired as 2 of 9 firefighters on Shelby County Fire Department. I worked my way up. They gave us a test. I tested for lieutenant. They changed the policy that said we're going to promote straight down the list based on merit. I placed number 18 on the list only to find out that the white firefighters had a copy of the damn test. When we found that out, we told Harold Ford that this was happening. He made us retest through Memphis Fire Department, who are already under a decree because of the same thing. When we retested, guess who placed number 4 on the test? Guess who got promoted to lieutenant? Only because they had already set the policy. They had to go straight down the list. But when they were found to be cheating, they got their butts kicked on that test because they really did not deserve it. True story.
Leader Camper, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield him another minute, Representative Parkinson, so he can conclude.
Representative Parkinson, 1 minute.
Thank you, Leader. This goes to show you why these policies are needed. I'm looking at the state contracting. Less than 4% of all of the billions of dollars that have been spent by the state of Tennessee, $56 billion budget, less than 20%. So are you telling me that all of that 88, 90% of those individuals are better than that meager 10 or 20% of individuals? Absolutely not. This is why we have it. It is not to put another group above another one. It is simply to show you that we exist. It removes the invisible cloak from veterans, from disabled individuals, black people, women, and others. We exist. We take up space.
Leader Camper.
Yeah, you said that with your chest.
I did, man. You know, these were the last waning days of session, right? We had a lot to say and a lot to get out. But you know, it's just well, a couple things, right? There's so many different things around this whole DEI thing. First of all, black folks was the last to benefit from DEI.
Exactly. People got that missed.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah, but we're always fighting for everybody else's causes also. And so, you know, white women were the lead beneficiary of DEI, you know, policies.
Say it again.
Yeah, white women. And you know, but white women wasn't there fighting. You know, LGBTQ groups benefited from DEI, and so did disabled folks, right? And but nobody was standing beside us as we were fighting to you know, keep, you know, DEI opportunities available in the state. And I find that interesting. I find that very interesting. And you know, and what I was illustrating is that the reason why we need DEI, because you know, there's always been this the scale that's been tilted to white males, and in that case, right, good old boy system. And in that case of me at the fire department, and many others of us at the fire department, you know, their buddies had given them a copy of the test, and they placed. That's why I was number 18. There was so many of them at the top of that list, right? And it was interesting. And so when you look at that list, you sit there, you shake your head, you be like, ain't no way this dumb motherfucker got on the top of the list. Like, how?
You can learn a lot from a dummy.
Man, yeah, get the test, right? And so you know, we fought and we forced them to retest, but not through Shelby County Fire Department, where because I was Shelby County Fire, not Memphis Fire. But Memphis Fire was already under a decree where they had to hire, based on a federal judge's ruling, 50-50, because they had been doing kind of the same thing. Right now, you think about it, right? I always tell people we live in an apartheid situation in Memphis, you know, where the minority is in control of almost everything, right? And then you had this vast majority of African Americans, black folks, who are, you know, who don't control the wealth, right? And then you think about, you know, I talked about, you know, contracting with the state of Tennessee, and you know, and they've inched it up some, you know, but it's about to end now because you know, with this DEI, with ending DEI, that means contracting, you know, and all of these other things, right? And I think at one point, and I might have my numbers just a little bit wrong, but I thought we were like less than 1% of the contracts awarded at the state of Tennessee. And you think about even here at Shelby County, right? Them numbers are so low, you know, for it to be a majority black, majority African American county and city, and those numbers are incredibly low.
Should we even be fighting for it then?
Well, you know, in Memphis and Shelby County, I think so, because there's so many black folks, right? It should be opportunities, right, to you know, make sure that everybody gets you know, a piece of the pie, right? And I tell people this too, right? You know, it's so much money in America, right? If you get a piece of the crust of the pie, that's enough to feed generations upon generations upon generations, right? But you know what they did in Atlanta, you know, when I think it was Maynard Jackson was the mayor of Atlanta, and they were doing that airport build, you know, he said not a ounce of dirt will be turned over if black folks ain't part of this process. and they made a lot of black millionaires, you know, in Atlanta because of, you know, the efforts of Maynard Jackson. So yeah, and we need those. We need
same
those.
way in the real estate, real estate field here.
Right.
Those contracts, you know, we see these contracts, and I wish they had a test like, you know, what you had to go through. We get a chance to see, you know, who's really knowledgeable about it and give the contracts to who really deserve those contracts, because it's a lot of agents out there, real estate, commercial, and residential, busting their ass just to get that 1%.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we always had to work harder. Nothing ever came to us. We all had to fight harder than everybody else.
Man.
Unfortunately, especially black women. Sorry.
So I was going to ask, like, are we surprised that they went away with it? Is that a surprise or a shocker to us?
Oh no, I'm
not.
not. I'm not surprised at all. You know, I always tell people too this, you know, the 3 states that are you know, really in a heated competition to eat Trump's ass
I was
is
gonna say that brownie points
is
Trump.
right. I probably shouldn't have said that.
I said brownie points for Trump.
Right, brownie.
Right.
That's another way of saying it. Right.
Yeah, right.
But the 3 states that are in heavy competition to kiss the ass of President Trump is Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. And you know, the sponsor of this bill, he said he was happy and excited to lead the way in getting rid of DEI.
Fairness. To get rid of fairness.
To
do what is right.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I pointed out too is that, you know, DEI didn't guarantee me a contract. It didn't guarantee me a promotion.
Absolutely.
But what it did do is it removed the invisible cloak from me. So, hey, look, I'm here. I exist, you know, and others exist other than white men who were getting all the contracts. Yeah. So, you know, also, you know, at the state, it's been a great and interesting week. I ain't gonna say a great week. I'm glad the session is over with because I'm mentally drained. But you know, there was also an attempt to take over Memphis and Shelby County schools. And you know, and so before we go to that video, Josh, here's the thing, right? You know, you had, of course, this situation with the former superintendent. Fagans. Right.
Got a name right.
Yeah, no, she wasn't there. But you know, at one point, at one point they were trying to center this around her and saying, oh, because the school board, you know, fired the former superintendent. You know, this is why we're going to come in and take over the schools. Bullshit.
Absolutely.
They've been trying to take over the schools since 2011, and I always tell people, you know, started with the Achievement School District, and then it became the first voucher. You know, there's been 4 iterations of the vouchers before it passed, and then the whole stacking of Memphis and Shelby County School Board, adding more members or adding an advisory committee. They've been running that shit for 5 years. This is not the first year.
They just gave them ammo.
Just gave them ammo. And I think we got a little video on the school takeover legislation. Josh, run it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Sponsor, I'm going to give you another bite at the apple on this. What does an empty school building have to do with the growth of a student's academic progress?
Chairman White.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I understood you to ask me about the facilities. A lot of our students are going to school in our community. So, okay, well, I'll come back to that. All right?
Chairman White.
An empty building is a building that becomes blighted in the neighborhood if it sits empty. And for far too long, through the bureaucracy we talked about, we cannot move that building to some other facility, nonprofit, charter, daycare, whatever, because they can't get through the bureaucracy of the system to move that building out.
Chairman, Representative Parkinson.
Thank you. Mr. Sponsor, this is what this is about. Thank you for finally admitting it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not about education. This is about getting the real property from your school districts to give to these charter schools, these CMOs, and these hedge fund owners. And it does not reflect how much it's going to cost us in the fiscal note. Why?
All right. Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I've been beating this drum. Dr. Wade, you're an educator, so I'm sure this is important to you, but this has never been about anything academic with our children.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
This is about the property, the real property that the Shelby County Schools portfolio is vast. There's a lot of value in it. And they want their hands on that property. Damn, they want their property.
They do.
They do. And they want to give it to their charter buddies and other folks. And
mini Trumps.
Right. And nowhere in this school takeover legislation did it say anything about academic progress.
Not anything.
Nothing.
I thought it was about the students and their education.
No,
I'm just being sarcastic. That's what they said.
It's the hidden.
Yeah, it's about the property and that budget, that $1.2 billion budget.
Call a spade a spade.
Right. Call it. And that's what I always say. I said, look, let's just have a conversation in truth, you know, and then maybe we can work through this.
Exactly.
You know what? Look, maybe we need to partition off y'all some of this property.
Right.
That's what y'all need.
That's what you want.
Right. Then let's have a conversation in truth. And you know,
but it's not about our children.
It's not at all, man. And it's never been. And you know, even through the achievement school district process, you know, there was a sell off of black and brown heads at $10,500 per head. And they made a lot of money. They made a killing.
They did.
$2 billion spent on the achievement school district, and those charter management organizations made a killing off of our kids. They bought our kids for pizza, and they got $10,500 per year.
Yet the state reads at a third grade level
and moved back to the Beverly.
Right when they realized that it was a blatant failure.
Man.
Right. And I don't know if I got that video on there, but you know, there's another video, and y'all go to my Facebook page, State Rep Antonio Parkinson, and where we talk about, you know, how, you know, okay, you had the worst school in the state. The worst school in the state was Hanley Elementary in the entire state of Tennessee. There are over 1,700 schools in the entire state.
And it's here in Memphis?
It's here in Memphis.
I don't know, y'all.
Yeah, Hanley was the worst. We should have brought that up to Narisha when she was here last week. Look, Hanley was the worst school in the state of Tennessee. The state of Tennessee took over Hanley Elementary and underperformed it.
Wow.
There was
they owed us some points.
Right. You think, okay, here's the bottom school. These folks done created a new bottom
with their program,
right?
Implementing their way,
right? Charters
and
right. Said they were going to take that school from the bottom 5% and put it in top 25% in 5 years.
But yet the whole school reads average on third grade level. The whole
started from the bottom, and we're still
nothing
here.
to even.
Third grade, and we still here.
Right.
Started from the bottom, and we still here.
And we'll go back to that. We talked about this in the previous show. You know, the health department puts this side by side comparison of third grade reading proficiency between Shelby County schools and the state of Tennessee average, and Shelby County schools was 30.5%, absolutely dismal, right? But the state of Tennessee's average was 35.6%. So you're talking about an F minus beside an F minus. You know, so
you do the math.
Right. And so
we all just fell.
And then they got the nerve to say, we're going to take over your schools. You know, when they were taking schools, when the state was taking schools and putting them into the achievement school district, Shelby County Schools was a level 5 school district. So they were literally taking schools from a level 5 school district and put them into a level 1 school district, the state-run school district.
Absolutely.
And that's criminal. That's criminal. So look,
setting us up to fail.
But look, I'm just going to mention this. We ain't going to talk about the video, but Trump's tariffs. There was a lot of people didn't realize there was an exemption in the Trump tariffs, right? And the countries that got the exemption was Russia.
Oh wow!
Come on now.
And
Russia together. I'm trying to
right, and Russia's allies, Belarus, Cuba, and North Korea. Those are the countries that got an exemption from any of Trump's tariffs. But watch this. When they did that, the Russian ruble, which is their dollar, right, became the #1 currency in the world. And that says a lot and has rippling effects throughout the world, throughout the global economy.
People don't think it affects us, but it does. I mean,
and
it's a trickle down effect.
And if y'all still don't think this man is an agent of Russia, y'all is something.
Duh, they in bed together. They probably helped him to steal election.
It's deeper, yeah.
He owe favors.
He has an agenda.
At this point, he owe favors. So these are all things they discuss. Like, we get you office. He just paying back favors for putting him in the seat of power.
Still mad that he did not win the previous election. So he's showing.
Well, according to him, he won. So you know.
Oh,
but look, y'all, hey y'all, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's go, baby. Come on. Hey, we're going to have an abbreviated introduction. I got my lovely co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods in the building.
Love her.
I got my DJ Kodak in the building. And we got the doctor in the building, T-Ray. Hey, you know, in the next segment, I don't want y'all to go anywhere. We're going to talk about situationships. But speaking of situationships, you know, all of them women that be out there looking for these NFL players.
Yes.
Hey,
A meal ticket.
Yeah. Shedeur Sanders is still undrafted.
Man.
Right. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. And you know, it's interesting, you know, how this is playing out.
Is it personal?
We'll see. I think we got a little video. Josh, run that video.
Man, it's got to be personal.
Can somebody explain to me, if you bring up a Baker Mayfield, Peter, like you just did, okay, and we're talking about somebody with no acclaim at all, how somebody with the acclaim, who has shown he could play, who just weeks ago, months after the college football season was over, was rejected to possibly be the second quarterback taking in the NFL draft, falling in the top 3 to the top 6, even have Molly on here talking about him possibly landing to the Giants, to now possibly falling, if not to the Saints, then the Steelers might need to move up a few spots from 21 and get him. How the hell that happened? Can somebody explain to me? Inquiring minds want to know when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. How that happened?
Now that you're talking to teams closer to the draft, I would be lying if I came up here and I was waving a flag and saying, hey guys, I got a team for you for Shedeur Sanders. I don't, especially not at 2 and 3. So 10 days
That's
away
not what
from
I'm
the
asking
draft,
you, Peter.
Okay,
that's not what I'm asking. I know the mock draft. I know the mock draft, but you know in football the way that you do, and seeing the kid play, and seeing what they were saying about him. I'm not talking about just a mock draft. I'm talking about NFL experts, including Louis Riddick, who talked about Shedeur Sanders and how big time of a player this guy has the potential to be. What's up with the precipitous drop?
Shannon.
It happens, Stephen A. I'm a firm believer. I don't understand it, how guys rise and fall, considering they haven't played football in 4 or 5 months. I don't understand it either. But for me, Stephen A., I'm a firm believer in this. It's not how high you go, it's where you go. You go to the right situation, because sometimes a guy can go high and go to the wrong situation and he never pans out, and he goes to a correct situation and he gets better. I believe the New Orleans Saints is an ideal situation for Shedeur. I honestly believe that. It seems that these top 3 teams are going to move in another direction. Well, the Giants and the Browns are moving in another direction, and we know Patriots don't need a quarterback. So if he goes to the Saints, I think he'll be just fine.
Oh man, it's a lot of chatter in here about this thing, about this situation, right?
It's crazy.
You know, Angelica somebody said Trump was involved. Who said that?
Yeah, I did. According to Fox News, Trump said that they're stupid for passing him up on the first round of drafts, and they should draft him immediately.
Well,
That's what he said.
Trump got some interest in that. Somebody is supporting Trump.
Thank you.
Deion must be a Republican. Okay.
What he got to do? You ain't got nothing else to do.
Tonight.
The president ain't got nothing else he need to be commenting on right now besides the NFL draft. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
he shouldn't even have his hands in that.
Nothing.
Right. You know, it's a lot of hate on Shedeur Sanders. You know,
but why?
You know,
is it because it's his dad, or is it because of him?
You know, I don't know, but I saw on something on one of the platforms where they were doing a side by side with Deion and his 2 sons, and Archie Manning and his 2 sons. And Archie Manning was involved throughout the process of his sons going to college, getting drafted, so on and so forth. Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. Deion's doing the same thing. But y'all know it's two different sets of rules, right? Two
Yeah.
different sets of circumstances.
That's true.
Yeah, and so, but the reaction to Shedeur Sanders' draft slide, it's been mixed. While some critics have viewed it as a reflection of overhyped expectations, others like NFL analyst Emmanuel Echo condemned the celebration of his fall as a very weird behavior, and I concur with that. And Shedeur himself has remained optimistic. He's stating all of this is, of course, fuel to the fire, and that's what I'm talking about. Take that shit and let that be your motivation.
Let it be your motivation.
Look at Tom Grady. When he goes, that's his name, Tom Brady.
Yeah, man, you be jacking up some names. You made that man Tom Grady from Friends from
whatever.
Sanford.
You know what I mean?
Tom Grady on Sanford and Son.
What round did he go? What round did he go? He was like worse. He was like seventh round. Look at him. Yes, and he was like the best person in the league. So he was. But no, I'm just saying. So it doesn't matter. And I think a lot of people, even in the comments, that's talking about him. We don't have no space to talk about him. Ain't none of y'all went to NFL league. Ain't nobody even
went to the NFL once. Me and Kojak went at the same time. We
Oh
went on the
God.
And I was a cheerleader
in the league. Okay.
And my agent.
Y'all just make y'all feel like y'all gonna go tomorrow. Y'all go round 3.
Her cheerleading skirt was hyped up.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God. Really?
Aggressive. Beat. Aggressive.
Listen, he's a black. Listen. Yeah. Hold on. This is all that routine. Listen. No more. Listen. Parkinson don't get to make no more shoes. Because I'm over here just confused.
Man, it's
I'm saying he a black dude. He a black dude doing positive things. He ain't in the news trending for other things like Shannon Sharp. So hey, I just commend him for that. Okay?
And then you got what's the dude name? Is it Travis?
Hunter.
And his girlfriend, right?
Leave him alone. Leave that girl alone. You know she bought him a Rolex. It was like, would you spend his money? Like, you gonna
absolutely
the day before? Yes, but that's women. We're gonna trick you. You know, women. You have art.
How you know she ain't got no money?
A Rolex.
How do we know she got some?
Well, how do we know she doesn't? She
but women have a gift of gifting you something that's really from
I mean, where the Kardashians' money come from?
Damn.
Well, we do know that where it came.
It came from Kim.
From where?
Kim. She was sacrificial.
But where her money come from though?
Her dad was an attorney.
Her dad
he was a attorney. Yeah, he did die.
He did.
But what makes you think that little mama ain't got no money?
Okay, well,
he did die. And white people insure themselves very well.
They do.
We just don't. But
we can trace that. But can we trace her wealth?
Oh boy!
Okay.
You might be
able to Shannon Sharp.
But let me tell you about this. Y'all missed this on the video. Shannon Sharp was normally Sharp is just as loud as what's Stephen A. I can't tolerate Stephen A. Smith.
Oh my goodness.
I cannot tolerate Stephen A. Smith. He is always yelling. I wonder if he ever turns it off. And he kind of reminds me of my boy.
Why does he do it in the bed? Like,
oh God!
Don't come to me on that camera shit.
Okay, y'all don't get nothing else.
Man, look,
nobody get nothing else. Look at Josh. Look at Josh.
What I'm saying is this position.
Girl, I'm about to go.
Okay,
about to happen.
Okay, we're gonna take a break.
We're gonna take a break.
Right. Josh, mute their mics. Mute the mics, Josh.
Look. Man, listen. I cannot tolerate. He reminds me, man. Shout out to my boy DJ Lomax, right? DJ Lomax. I told DJ Lomax, do you ever turn your DJ voice on? I said, Lomax, so when you getting ready to get romantic, do you? Hey, baby. I bought you this rose.
Oh God!
It's about to go down.
He said, "Bought my rose."
Lomax is my guy. Shout out to DJ Lomax. That's my guy. And we love Lomax.
Hey, DJ.
But look, I tell him he never turns his DJ voice on. And Stephen A. Smith, I don't think he ever turns his voice on.
Man, I don't think so. And he's loud.
Yeah, he's loud.
Like megaphone.
Yeah, like dude, shut the fuck up.
Language. We're gonna get kicked off of Facebook.
Shannon Sharp normally get up there with him.
Yeah.
You know Stephen A.
Right. But man, he was
but the girl got him quiet.
Man, so
them recordings got him quiet.
Man, I don't know if it's humble pie or if it's just worry or anxiety.
It's humble pie. It's humble pie.
No, he worry.
Well, I mean, it's said that they over 100 times they had sex over 100 times.
Well, okay. Let's set this up. Okay, on April 20th, 2025, April 20th, 2025. A woman identified as Jane Doe filed a $50 million civil lawsuit against Shannon Sharp in Clark County, Nevada. She alleges that during their nearly 2-year relationship,
2 years,
which began in 2023, when she was 20, Sharp raped her on 2 occasions in her 2-year relationship. In October 24th and January 2025. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, October 2024 and January 2025. Wow. The lawsuit also accuses Sharp of physical abuse, emotional distress, threats to her life, and unauthorized recording of sexual encounters. And isn't Busby bringing this lawsuit?
Is. Yes, he is.
Oh man! So
we already know. Yeah,
I think we got a little. I think we got a little video. Josh, run that video.
Anna.
This is a shakedown.
Facing rape and sexual assault accusations tonight.
This is a shakedown.
Facing rape and sexual assault accusations tonight, Shannon Sharp is not backing down.
I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right.
Today, the former NFL star turned podcaster posting this video statement in response to a Nevada civil lawsuit filed by a woman who says her consensual relationship with Sharp eventually led to multiple assaults. The lawsuit also accuses Sharp of secretly recording their sexual encounters without her consent. The plaintiff, listed as Jane Doe, is represented by attorney Tony Busby, who has represented accusers in several high-profile sexual assault cases, and who Sharp called out by name.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself.
Also new today, Jane Doe's attorney releasing an audio clip alleging it shows Sharp threatening the plaintiff.
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
The plaintiff says, "Don't manipulate me." Then Sharp allegedly responds,
"Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you."
NBC News has not independently verified the audio's authenticity. It's also not clear if this excerpt was part of a longer conversation. We asked Shannon Sharp's attorney about the recording late today.
He is acknowledging this is a recording of him, but that it's being taken out of context.
The legal team is telling me that we can't authenticate it if he said that, and he's not denying it. This is his statement that he did not mean it. It was in the heat of the moment in the middle of an argument.
Sharp's attorney Lanny Davis also says the Hall of Famer offered his accuser at least $10 million in mediation before the lawsuit was filed.
Shannon Sharp's willingness to pay is not an admission of anything that he did wrong. It was a willingness to pay for the protection of his family and himself.
Despite the graphic public allegations, Sharp was talking sports on ESPN this morning. The sports network declining to comment on the lawsuit as Shannon Sharp offered this promise today.
And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do.
Do that. Somebody's
clipping
her to do it.
Man, look, probably Busby, but man, listen.
Correct.
Listen.
She would have took that 10.
I mean,
Cassie took hers.
At what point though? At what point does it stop? Right, and I'm not. Listen, let me be clear before. I don't want y'all to try to run me off with rakes and pitchforks, but honestly, are they all victims? And secondly, how dumb do you have to be as
a man?
Come on, y'all.
You're thinking with the wrong head, but what's her name? The actor, what's the actor name? She warned him. She said, "Leave him."
Monique.
Yeah, Monique said, "Leave him alone," and she didn't listen. Y'all need to learn how to listen.
Else warned him too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They said, "Leave him alone." Here he is. And she was 20. How old? And she was 20. How old is this man?
But he said that he's been messing with her for 2
years.
Some years.
Yeah.
So she was what? 18?
19, I think so.
She's 21 now.
Yeah, I think she was 19.
Yeah, like
She's 20 now.
So
no, she's older than that now. Well, she was. Seemed like I saw.
I don't know. He shouldn't have been messing with her. Whatever.
She been letting him marinate.
Man.
She been sitting on that golden egg.
Or she could have been plotting the whole time and
That's
building.
what I'm saying. Sitting on the golden egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was playing checkers. She was playing chess.
Honestly, real talk though, it is scary being in positions of familiarity. Where, because you become a target. You can very well become a target. T-Wade, you're a target. Somebody trying to Somebody trying to knock you up and lock you down.
Parkinson right now.
Right. You know, you just happen to come off the market. They was been targeting you.
Nobody ever tried to talk to me, nothing like that. Okay, thank you.
And that's Mountain Dew in her cup.
They don't.
Right. And the beat goes on.
Right.
They don't.
But that's real talk though. It's sad and unfortunate that there are sharks on both sides of this.
They are.
Right. Both men and women. And you look at the dude. What's my guy name? He married. Who did he marry? Was it Britney Spears? Man, he came up. Kevin
Federline.
Look, came up. Yeah. And the dude that married, was it Monique or a dude married one of the sisters. And
I know who you're talking about because they talked about Tabitha about money. She took care of her husband. What's that lady's name? It's gonna come to me.
But that person. Yeah. Okay, y'all.
But they asked us what we bring
No.
to the table.
It was Wendy Williams because Wendy
Williams
talked about
and
he took and she yep.
Well, what do y'all bring to the table?
But see, that's what I'm saying. But
we don't bring the table. We are the table.
We
are the table. We are the table.
18.
We are the table.
Exactly. But y'all ask us what we bring, and we gold diggers. But then y'all go and get, a bald head, scallywag, ain't got no hair in the back.
Y'all get
up, we up. That shit is messed up.
Y'all better get kicked off, y'all.
Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. When we come back, we're gonna ask what do people bring to the table because we're gonna be talking about situationships. So hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Hey y'all, this actually has been kind of a good show for us.
Dysfunctional. Did I say
this is the best one?
Right.
Yeah.
It started off rough.
It did start off rough. Hey, three
they gonna get me put out my house today. My husband said 6 o'clock sharp.
And we got you.
Lies.
So listen, y'all. Angelica wrote this. Summer is right around the corner. And a lot of people are starting to reevaluate their relationships. So she said they're going to be outside. They're going to be F and F.
I say no F and F. Are you serious?
F and F.
No, Josh, really? You gonna believe that?
And so, these situationships, right? These questions to the men, Kojak. Kojak, look at me, Kojak. Come on, we need to be here. Yeah, we need to be here, Kojak. Because this is the dreaded question that men get asked. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What is this?
What is
what we doing?
Oh, Lord have mercy. So y'all welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. Look, we got Angelica, Kojak, and Doc T. Wade in the building. All right. So
we're gonna have abbreviation. We'll say we here.
Let me set this up. Again. In fact, Josh, just run the video.
Oh, we got a video on this?
If you're a person in a situationship or friends with benefit arrangement, if you're going to somebody and you are crying about the situation that you're in, I question your delusion. Because there's absolutely no way that you can possibly believe that a situation that has blurred lines is going to provide you with certainty, clarity, security, or be built off trust. When the situation is created based off of chemistry and not true compatibility. Don't even get into the conversation of boundaries. Boundaries need defined lines. Blur lines don't provide that. Those situations don't provide that. The only type of boundaries you typically would have in those situations are loose or porous boundaries. All they have to do is send you some reaffirming text, some nasty stuff, give you a compliment, a little appreciation, sprinkle a little bit of making you feel important on there. What do you think starts to happen when you have a liking for somebody and you spend time with them, you're having intercourse with them, you're having conversations, intellectual, emotional, spiritual conversations? What do you think is going to happen? Sorry, y'all, but this really tickles me. But you can't say we're friends with benefits and then say, I strictly want to just have intercourse. But you're literally creating this blurred line between a friendship and the benefits of a relationship. They still get the relational aspects of you. My Lord Jesus, do y'all hear that? And for those of you who have those arrangements, whenever things go sour, or whenever you start to develop feelings or they start to develop feelings, y'all be the main ones hitting up people's lines talking about, I don't understand where things turned. Now I'm thinking something's going on up here, because there's no way you didn't believe or you didn't think that things were going to turn. That's what I mean. See, stop hitting up people's lines if you don't want direction or correction. If you just want sympathy and attention, you need to go do that somewhere else. Go talk to that person you have that arrangement with. Because there's no, never mind. Y'all have a good day.
No,
I'm sorry.
Josh.
Parkinson is triggered, so therefore
he's
he's
definitely
the guilty. He's triggered. So
he's definitely triggered.
He's
Josh,
definitely.
that shit was so all over the place. I don't even know what the woman was saying.
Well, I will tell you what she's saying.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Thank you. Okay.
I will tell you.
What was she saying?
She said establish boundaries.
Yes.
You got to establish boundaries.
You can't do
so
that.
you can avoid the what are we conversations. If
Uh-huh.
you establish boundaries, then there's no need for me to say, well, where is this going?
But there's no
Because
such
you've
thing in
already-
situationships, though.
There's no such thing.
Boundaries in situationships. Somebody's not going to no.
Right.
No, there's always somebody. There's always 88% of the time, there's always somebody who is taking it more than what a situationship is.
Somebody's gonna
And a
like
lot of
somebody
time
more than
it's a
another person.
woman.
That's fact.
Yeah.
So most of the time it's women. We
I don't
do.
know now.
Thank
I don't
Most
know
I
now.
said most of the time.
Because we're emotional.
Yeah, we're emotional, and we
These
always
dudes
think.
emotional too.
Yes, we're emotional. We think yes, we're emotional. Yeah, I can tell you a crazy situation about a man
Well, tell
right
us,
now.
tell us,
I'm
tell
not.
us right now. Come on, Angelica. We need an
Well,
Angelica
I know
story
somebody
right now.
personally. I know somebody personally
Man, I do too.
who the girl said, I don't want a relationship. You know, I ain't
Oh,
there no
they
more.
fall the hardest.
Oh, but she don't like. And he pay me. He drops off money every single week. He done seen a man come out her house, and
he's still dropping off money.
Yes, still begging, dropping it off, leaving the grill. Follow the man to the stoplight. And she'll call police on him. So
This ain't Memphis. Right?
yes, Memphis.
So she called the
This
police
was last
on the
week.
man that
Last
was
week.
dropping her money off.
Yeah, he's still.
I'm
yes.
concerned about both of them.
Okay,
Right,
But
right,
I'm just
right.
saying, but most of the time it's women. We think,
'Cause she's
okay,
accepting.
we think we want something so
There's
bad.
no
We be
boundaries.
like, okay, well, maybe he's saying that now, but I can change his mind, kind of thing.
Mm.
We do think that, but I
No.
know, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. We can't change nothing
Men
but a
think
diaper.
that too. Yeah, men think that too. Can we be friends?
Man,
I just
let me-
want to be your friend.
Okay, Kojak, when they get
What
through,
benefits?
Yeah.
Kojak, when they get through cackling,
No, that's what you
we'll
tell.
get
That's what you
started.
tell them.
Right, right.
No, because in my
Okay,
own
have the
personal
floor.
situation, me and my husband were just talking about this. Yeah, they say you're gonna be your friend. So you can say you're in a relationship and a man will be your friend. Like, baby, I just want to be your friend. They say that at first, and then they do get in their feelings. They don't.
Ooh.
Men can.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
been my situation. They think they can always do the takeover, and the takeover don't work.
Now,
I'm not gonna lead a man.
If I recall,
Come on.
you were not studying your husband,
I wasn't.
and look at you now.
We talked about that. I
Back
wasn't.
then, you ain't
I
want it.
was
Now
studying.
you all on me.
No, everybody wanted him. I didn't want him like that or nothing. He said we had that story
And
today.
Kojak, this is what I say.
Come on now.
Those that play the hardest be the hardest to fall. They
No.
fall harder than anybody.
That's facts.
Right.
I
And
agree with
so
you on
and
that.
so when I listen to this nonsense that
That's
we
not
just heard,
nonsense.
we just literally wasted 2.5 minutes of our lives, right? Listening to this emotional nonsensical shit.
The whole thing was like, it was back and forth.
And it was all over the
She was
place.
talking about blurred lines and established lines. I really didn't understand.
That's that.
Because if you establish something, then there's no gray area.
Bullshit. Let me tell you why I say that.
somebody
Right,
gonna
I call
blur 'em.
bullshit. I
Somebody gonna
scream
blur 'em.
bullshit.
Somebody gonna blur
You
'em.
can establish what the hell you want to establish.
And still.
And boy, that pound happens.
see,
And then
I'm
then
coming.
them lines. Right. Exactly.
Oh God, I'm coming.
And then them
And then he said, I love you. I thought we was in a relationship.
Right. Hey, look, it's that look in that eye.
Why you
know,
making
look at-
eye? Why
she
you
said,
making eye contact in a
right,
situation telling
right.
you love her?
And it's
raw
that
dog.
weight being applied.
Right.
Right.
You said the weight applied. I'm about to
Right,
sit
right.
down. I'm about to sit
putting that
down.
weight
There
on,
you
right?
go.
See, this ain't no rose we talking about. We talking about weight.
You
It's
said
weight.
weight. You
on
said
there.
no, you
Weight
said
on
no
you, right?
roll.
Okay.
And when then it's that, because here's what I think is missing in her conversation.
Okay.
You know,
I'm tagging her when you
know,
clip this.
people,
She gonna roast
and I
you.
don't want to take us down a rabbit hole, but touch matters, right? And
Love language?
Love languages
Okay.
matter,
Okay.
right? And those lines disappear. And
Yeah.
but go ahead. But here's the beauty. Here's the beauty. To me, here's the beauty of these situationships.
It's beautiful.
If you get out of your own way and there's beauty in it. If you get out of your own way and you let it naturally develop into whatever God chooses it to be, it becomes the best relationship you've ever had.
Oh my God! Now you talking about BS? That was the most BS. Wow. You don't put God in situationships and everything.
Wow. Jim Jones, I'm not drinking the oil.
Really said,
Jim
Jones, I'm not drinking
that. If you like the Lord, let him have his way in this situation.
I tried, Kodak.
And then what that got? No, the situation. This is the thing.
Are you gonna say?
You say made sense.
Well, made perfectly good sense to me.
Parkinson did?
No, they did. Because
y'all.
Those are the best relationships.
They absolutely
situationships are.
Yes, you don't think so?
No,
you don't. Wait a minute.
Well, if you establish a boundary,
it's the well for me. It's the well for me. Right.
If you establish boundaries, if I say I want it,
right,
but I don't want nothing else from you but that, then a woman knows what to expect. A man knows what to expect.
Right.
Then,
but it's not going to stay that way. That's our
no.
point.
But then that's what I'm saying. But if you come to me and say that's what you want, then that's what it is. Because that's a boundary.
But what you say and what you say you want and your action has to line up. So you can't sit there and say, I don't want no woman. But then you take her to your mama's house, you have sex with her raw and look in her eyes, say you love her. And then when you raw dog, that's what you do it. Because I know somebody right now. I know somebody right now going through this. And then when you see, and then
all your friends, all your friends are going through shit.
And then y'all staying together every single night. And then all of a sudden you want to be like, oh, let me get back in line because she gonna think I want a relationship. Like, no, because they be doing too much. Or you want to check her about a man. I know this person checked her like, you on a date nap? Why is she gonna be on a date nap? You in a situation?
Hey, let me tell you what I tell. Look,
this is real
I
story.
Say go on all the dates you want. See what's out there. You'll be back. Man. Look, hey, reel it back in. No, explore.
But you're establishing boundaries. You're telling her
that's
what I want
boundary.
you to do.
He testing the whole time.
But it has to be discussed. A boundary is a discussion.
Let me tell you why.
I like
and
that.
apply. We can talk all day.
Let me tell you
apply
why.
Your actions.
Let me tell you why that discussion comes up. Because women try to leverage, if you don't commit to me, I'm gonna go do this. Well, get on out there, player.
But
explore the world.
Say that.
Explore the world.
And then you'll be Googling how to stop from crying.
When
I do.
How to get ChatGPT. ChatGPT, how do I get her back?
How do I get her back?
How do I get her back?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How do I get her back and keep my pride?
Boundaries are simply conversations. It's simply conversations with action.
I don't chase them, I replace them. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Look, oh, I ain't never seen her speechless. I ain't never seen her speechless.
Like
I'm trying to be,
yeah.
Oh God, trying to be what?
Yeah, but you know, but I'm just saying though. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of manipulation in that process. And dang, where is Dr. Petrell when we need her? Right? Because she said
she'll tell you full of it.
She said manipulation is not always a bad thing, right? Yeah. Babies coming to the world manipulating, right? But here's
that was babies and kids, now grown men.
Shit, they don't
want some. So who wants some hoo-ha and don't want everything else to go with? I don't want to
say away the childish thing.
Oh, now you going biblical? She don't went biblical.
I done went biblical.
Right on the pain.
Thank you for watching on the
situation. Man, listen.
Get a sprinkle of Jesus.
But you know, I think this is just my this is what has worked for me.
Oh, some work for you?
It has. My longest relationships have been when there were no expectations, and you just let it breathe, right?
Because there are no expectations.
Here's what happens though. But here's what happens. Think about this. When you can be dating 5 people, 5.
Okay.
Doc, you can be dating 5 dudes.
Try 12.
Or 12. Right. A dozen. A dozen. You can be dating a dozen dudes, right?
Okay.
And you are naturally going to give more time to the one that you enjoy the most. Right?
Yeah.
Now, what does that do? That squeezes all of the others out of the way naturally. Right.
You setting yourself up.
And when you do that, that creates a natural relationship. Now, here's
the other person ready, and if they not ready,
but listen, You can't be spending all of that time with the other person, and they're not spending that time with you.
And they're not doing
so
that. That's what I'm saying. People ain't doing that.
But
They
look,
get mad.
listen. We are not in elementary where you say, "Hey, do we go together? Yes,
check
or
yes.
no?"
No.
Or check no.
But you
We're
got,
not-
but you need
might as well in these days
You need to
times
say
you
we
do.
are we only two people?
That's
You
the
gonna run
dreaded
up on
question. You don't have to say that.
Yes,
What does your
There's too many
actions
diseases.
say?
There's too many diseases out here.
No.
So then I bring you committee.
When,
I'd be like,
when you
well,
say
we
you
didn't
love
go.
me,
We wasn't
it doesn't
together.
matter. It just goes on like
So
chit-chat.
women need validation. That's what y'all are saying. I'm over here.
Communication.
Baby,
No,
you're looking to the high heavens.
communication.
They need validation. So women need to be told, yes, we are an item. You need a
I need you to confirm we on the same page so we can both be out here. So we both can be out here doing the same. But let me finish.
Okay.
We make sure we're on the same page so we can both be out here doing the same thing. The problem, people be in situations, they be lying.
Correct.
Still, I ain't talking to nobody else. It's just you. And then she make it just you. But then you out here doing Sue. I want to say Sue time. Well, she might be Sue time and Boo Boo.
Right.
And she only sleeping with you. Like, no, this not.
Right.
That's what people they manipulate.
You got to have that communication.
Man,
don't
listen,
be lying.
Say, look, I'm raw dogging Keisha, Kima, Pam, and all of that. That's what I'm saying.
They ain't gonna do that.
Let me decide if I want to accept that or not.
If you want to continue to be raw dog,
right?
Yeah, they gonna tell you half the truth.
If I want to continue,
because they want to string you along. Oh, I'm not ready yet. I need to get done with medical school. I need to get done.
It's just simply a communication.
Oh,
Because your actions can say you want to be with me, just me. But then as soon as I turn my back, you would.
And sometimes we just want to string things
somebody
along. Because
else.
sometimes y'all just
be
like
honest.
you like the person around. You string them along, tell them what you want because you want access to that person.
Alexa, play "Just Be a Man" about it.
That took you through. Oh Lord.
Hey,
Just be a man about it.
Yeah, sure.
Look,
Cried
look,
that
she had a
song.
little PTSD going on. Right. But you know, Kojak
from your main.
Kojak let you hang.
Kojak is the worst wingman ever.
You just knew that.
He knows when we're right. He knows when we're right.
I don't have these problems because I'm married now.
I was married now.
I love you, baby. But I can't say this. To back up what my brother said, my relationship started like that.
As a situationship?
This is the best relationship I've ever been.
Your wife started a situationship?
It started off. It was natural.
Yeah.
You know, even with the line.
He's looking in the camera.
He focused.
He's talking to his wife right now.
He actually
Right.
lines, but those lines changed at certain times, and then we rolled with it. And
Did y'all communicate?
It was natural.
But it naturally changed.
It was a natural communication.
You said the word, the C word.
Somebody said Parkinson too old to be talking about chasing and replacing folks.
I don't chase folks.
Yeah.
I don't chase folks. You know,
the dating pool has piss, water, and cocaine in it.
But that's for y'all.
What is
Look.
I'm leaving y'all.
Look, ain't nobody said that shit. Angelica freestyled that damn comment.
I'm reading it right here. Oh, Josh.
But look, but listen. You know
Shout out to this painkiller.
Right, shout out to painkiller. Right. But you know, but
thank you. I ain't making that up. You talking about let me screenshot it. You said.
But my thing, I'm not, and I stand by what I said. I will not chase anyone.
You don't have to chase.
But a man's nature is to chase. It's to hunt.
Let me wait. Apparently, she didn't hear me.
Going through this cycle.
No,
until you find somebody who's willingly gonna do what you say do. So that's what
you doing over there?
Yeah, I'm smiling. Look,
I'm looking.
To do what you willing to do.
Angela, she done looked through my soul telling me
to do what you willing to do.
Oh man.
Okay, we getting offline right now.
It's a Hallmark card coming on.
We're talking about getting soul snatched now. Right.
He said he muting it, but y'all said he muting everybody.
Oh man.
Oh Lord. So anyway, y'all shout out to the painkillers. Painkillers will be frequent flyers here from now.
Yes.
Because they get that conversation started. But look, y'all, those of y'all that are watching, you know, let us know what your thoughts are on this.
Put in chat.
You know, situationships, right? Do they work or do they not work? Yes. Right. And
they work until.
Are you in a situationship right now?
I'm not.
Would
what
you
are
sign
in
up
right
for
now?
one?
I'm single.
Okay.
So there's nobody you messing with. Single.
There's nobody.
Oh well, you know.
Nobody keeps sweat.
So there's no dude that thinks y'all are talking.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely. Now it's always somebody in love.
Okay.
Damn. I mean, it's always somebody in love, but
right.
I'm not dealing with anybody.
Okay. Okay. All right. And not the show. It was the shoulder for me. Right. Look, y'all.
That's sealed.
Okay. All right, y'all. Listen. Hey, thank y'all for joining us. Y'all make sure that the show does not stop here. No. Right. Hit them comments because we're going to be talking about this situation.
This should be a couch segment.
No, they need a therapist to tell y'all about yourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, we are definitely. And I wish Nicole was here because Nicole.
She will tell you about yourself.
About who?
Yourself.
About me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, she probably would.
Invite me back when she's here.
Okay.
I want to hear how she's going to read you your rights.
Yeah,
And yours
Nicole probably got a situationship happening right now as we speak. So, yeah. So,
I'm thinking about the therapist.
No, not Narisha. Nicole.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Narisha.
Nicole.
No, Narisha
Our
need to come.
That's part of our team. Yeah, but so listen. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Thank you for joining us and thank you for sticking through with us through all of the tech issues today, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll see you on the next show. Next week, who we got next week?
Chastity.
Okay, Chastity Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
Chastity Monroe.
Oh, I love her. She's a product of me. One of my girls.
Okay.
Yes.
She is?
I love
Okay.
Yes. She is. Absolutely.
Yeah, Chastity.
I love her.
She is
the owner of Pink
Noir, the
only black
beauty supply retail store here in Memphis and Shelby County.
A product of modern distinctive ladies.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we'll see you next week. Make sure you join us. We're going to talk about the beauty industry.
Yes.
Next week.
How her recent in the tariffs.
And how the tariffs are affecting the beauty industry. All right. This has been a long ass outro, but yeah, we're gonna do that.
No wigs.
No wigs. Okay, y'all got anybody else? Got anything else? Any finals? Because y'all just
boundaries, please.
He be complaining, said we ain't got no
boundaries, please.
Tomorrow night at the Hip Hop Lounge, we got Gigi LaFleur.
Oh, wait a minute. And Kojak did not bring the person on the damn show.
I tried, but she won't get here until in the morning.
We could have did the show in the morning.
Yeah.
Because said, what are we?
What
are we doing?
We could have did the show in the morning. Yeah,
Well,
Kodak, that was a half-ass effort.
Y'all done got me burnt out because my husband just said, "Well, damn." I said,
I feel you.
You ain't about to get nothing.
All good things must come to an end.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kodak, thank you for inviting your comedians that you got at your little hip hop lounge and shit to the show.
Not little.
Right. Yeah. But all right,
That's
y'all.
what I'm battling with.
We'll see y'all next week. Hit that subscribe button. You've been watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
This was fun. Woo!